Do you want to know the truth? I mean, really. Sometimes I wonder if I even do. I mean, my first reaction is, of course I want to know the whole truth. But then I think, can I actually handle it? I mean, if I could tell you right now, by some mysterious revelation, the entire truth about God, who He is, and His desire for your life, would you actually want to know? Sometimes I doubt I would. Here's what I mean. In my home state of Texas, we eat a ton of smoked sausage. I love it. It's delicious. I could probably eat it for every meal. The reality is though, when I'm eating the sausage, I don't always know what's in it. And actually, I don't care. If I'm enjoying some links and somebody comes up to me and says, hey, you want to know what's in the sausage? I probably would say, no, I do not want to know. I'm kind of afraid of that truth because if I knew the truth about it, I might not want to eat it anymore. So I just make up my own truth about it. I believe that it's not only delicious, but it's also nutritious for me and it's packed with vitamins, right? I think it's the same with God and His plan for humanity. We're sort of afraid of the fullness of truth because if we knew it, then we might have to change some things about our life. So we just kind of continue to go along, plugging up our ears when people approach us with the truth. We make up our own truth, or we deny that truth even exists. Do you want to know the whole truth about God and His plan for you? Have you ever justified your actions by making up your own truth or denying that truth even exists? The reality is the truth is available to us and we shouldn't be afraid of it. Pope St. John Paul II said all the time, be not afraid. And in John's Gospel, Jesus says to us, you shall know the truth and the truth will make you free. In this lesson, we're going to explore the themes of truth and freedom, how to find truth and how to ground ourselves in it so that we can experience true freedom in our life.
I really like music. Whether jamming out to music in my car, singing in the shower, rapping with the kids at school, or chanting the liturgy at Mass, music is awesome and it can set the tone for community. I mean, think about it. You go to a coffee shop, they're not playing gangster rap or hardcore rock music. They have chill music playing in the background, and that chill music makes everybody relax. Music sets the tone. Music can not only inspire us and motivate us, but it can also affect us in the way that we think. As the old saying goes, right? What we think about will affect our actions, and our actions will affect our character, and our character will determine our destiny. So we have to pay attention to what we're listening to because it does have an effect on our thoughts. I mean, think about it. If we're listening to sexually explicit music, and I know this might be awkward, I'm a priest talking about inappropriate music, but stay with me here. If we're listening to sexually explicit music, it's not gonna elicit in our thoughts and in our imagination thoughts about baby Jesus. No, it's gonna arouse in us our passions of lust, right, and emotions of lust. And whether or not we act in those lustful actions or not, it's a problem. St. Thomas Aquinas, he teaches us, he says, action follows being. Right, so what happens is if we think about these lustful thoughts, then they may manifest themselves in an exterior way, but even if they don't, they still reside in our hearts. And we were created to abide with Jesus Christ in our work, in our relationships, but all the more importantly, in our hearts. That's what we were created for. Music can communicate truth, and it can, and it has throughout centuries. That's why the church uses music. But music can also communicate lies to us. And one of the main ways that music can lie to us is through absolute relativism. Right? There's a number of ways that we can think about truth. One way is to think about truth is this: everything is relative. This means that there is no objective truth. There's nothing objective. But if we think about this, if there's no objective truth, that statement is wrong in and of itself, because to say that there's no objective truth is to make an objective statement that there is one truth, that there is no truth, and thus the argument kind of defeats itself. That's awkward. Another way to look at truth is, well, everything is objective. Everything is, but that's not right also, because taste is not objective. I may think pepperoni pizza is the best kind of pizza. You may like the Supreme stuff. And I think Supreme is nasty, and that's okay. because it's all relative to our own taste. A third and more proper way to look at truth is this. There are some things that are relative, such as our taste. And there are some things that are objective, such as truth. I mean, there are some things in life that are always going to be true no matter what. For instance, gravity. What goes up must come down. Always, whether or not you personally believe in gravity or not, it's always going to be real. And just like gravity is objective, so is morality. We all know that it's always wrong to dropkick our 87-year-old grandma. It's never okay, no matter what state you're in, what country and how old you are. It's never going to be okay to dropkick grandma. It's morally wrong to do so. And just like dropkicking grandma is not okay, there are other things that are morally always going to be objectively good or bad. But how many of us have heard morality approached this way? Well, I personally disagree with X, Y, or Z, but who am I to judge? All right, who am I to judge? First, let's make a quick distinction. We are called to judge, right? We're called to judge actions, not people's hearts. We're not God, but the Bible tells us that we're called to judge justly. If we didn't judge, we wouldn't have government, we wouldn't have laws. So we need to be able to judge. So now let's put a real case in this scenario of what I personally disagree with. All right, I personally disagree with the Christians who are being killed in Africa for their faith. But who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? What if those Christians who are being killed in Africa was your mom or your dad? Whenever it becomes your parents, that's when it hits home. That's when it becomes real. But some people will still say, you know what? I agree. I think morality is objective. That's until we start talking about sexual morality. When we start getting to sexual morality, that's when people become more relativist again, because they ask the question, but what about pleasure? The first question is always, what about pleasure? But when the church addresses morality, and particularly with regards to human sexuality, our first question is not about pleasure. Our first question is about love and respecting the dignity of the human person. That's what we're concerned about first, love. I mean, think about it, guys. Love is hard. Sometimes what feels good is not good for us. What hurts us the most is what's best for us. I mean, that's what happened with Jesus Christ on the cross, right? It hurt him a lot, but it was best for all of us. Whenever we disregard truth for pleasure, what we're doing is we're giving into relativism. And we were created for more than that. We were created for more. We were created for truth. There are things in life that are objectively good, and there are things in life that are objectively bad. There's right and there's wrong. And whenever we can have the freedom to know the truth of good and bad, we can finally choose the good over the bad. What's the greatest good we've all been created for? Love. St. John Paul the Great wrote in Love and Responsibility that love is exclusively the portion of human persons. What this means is that only the human person has the capacity to know and to live and to share love with others. Rocks can't love. Trees and oceans, as beautiful as they are, they can't love. Even animals don't have the capacity to love the way that humans do, and that we go out of ourselves for the good of others. And the greatest good of others is their salvation. Animals just can't do that. We were made for love. We were created for love. And whenever we don't love, it affects us. We become wounded. We become hurt because we were created to do that. Now, relativists say, well, to choose love, to choose not to love, it doesn't matter. It's up to you. It's all about what you want to do. But just like someone who says, hey, I don't believe in gravity, so I'm going to jump off of a 40-foot building because I don't believe it. Whether they believe in it or not, the actions are still going to be that they're going to be either hurt or they're going to die. And whenever we deny objective truth, the fruit of that action of denying the objective truth is going to be a lot of unnecessary pain and suffering. The same thing happens when it comes to truth. If we deny objective truth, the fact that we're called to go out of ourselves for the good of others, when we don't realize this and live out this truth, it's going to affect us and others in a negative way. Sometimes hurts us, sometimes it does worse, even death. That's what sin does. We were created for more. We were created to love. And when we choose to sin, what happens is we hurt ourselves and we hurt others. St. John Paul the Great says that truth and freedom either go hand in hand together or they perish in misery. We all know the fruit of sin, right? A temporary pleasure, a lot of hurt and pain. But what we don't realize is that a lot of that hurt and pain often comes from the lie of relativism. Sin will never and can never satisfy us in the depths of our hearts. Only doing what we were created to do can do that, and that is to love. And we need objective truth in order to be able to choose love above and beyond what is bad, above and beyond the lesser goods. We've been created to choose the greatest good in freedom. and the greatest good is love.